Halo, these are the first 4 metallic cryo tubes from Mega Construx in their Halo line. These are sold individually. The US retail price is supposed to be about $5 each, so around the same as the Halo Heroes series. And these do not come with super painted, nicely detailed figures like the Halo Heroes series, but instead they give you these cryo tubes. This is basically the follow-on to those simplified drop pods that they did that most fans didn't really like because of their really low level of detail, but I think these actually are shaped up much better, relatively speaking. And these actually, I think, could be used on display, especially if you get a number of them in the same color. I want to show you just one of these, just kind of the complete experience, and then I'll take the other ones apart offline, or put them together offline, but I did want you to see all of what you get, exactly how you get it from one of these. So that's the entirety of the packaging. Gives you an instruction sheet. Figure comes in pieces, so you do have to assemble that. And this is what these look like on the inside. It's interesting, it still says Mega Blocks there rather than Mega Construx. Very glossy finish on this. It doesn't have paint on the main color, just the window area has paint over it. And these are studs here, which are hollow, so you can stick bars into them. You can stick things onto that, and they've got the underside basically of a 2x4 brick on the back, plus hollow studs in there where you can attach even more things. These will also fit onto studded bases if you have a base plate that you want to attach them onto, or if you have a structure that you've created with multiple pieces. So it'll fit onto it, but not with the greatest of clutch power there, and you can't attach smaller things. So this is an example of what you get in total with one of these sets. It's just a figure on a plain black stand, comes with a single weapon, and then you can continue to use the Cryopod for display. You can put the figure inside, but it won't really attach without you doing something custom building wise. And these packages are exposed to the elements, so it is possible to get scratches and scuffs like that. This first figure is a Halo Wars style Spartan 2 in Mark IV armor, and it's in the darkest of dark green colors. That is, I believe, the same color, the same finish that they I believe originally used in the radio-controlled electronic Mantis set for the Halo, the Master Chief that came with that one. And I think it's the exact same mix. When you look at it up close, it has a really obvious metallic flake in it. It's not too fine. There's quite a lot of it, but it's so dark. From any kind of real distance in real life, it just looks like some sort of tech armor. There's just a little bit of shininess to it, a little bit of glitteriness, but you don't see it a whole lot the whole time. You have to catch it from the right angles where it really gives you that shine. A lot of the time, it almost looks black from many angles. It's a really cool color. I like it. And then this has the really bright silver visor, which I think is a configuration that they haven't given us before at all, with such a dark color and then the bright silver visor. It's interesting. It definitely stands out. This feels like a very collectible figure, one that I'll be happy to have in the collection. And the weapon is just a regular assault rifle, the most recent mold of it, and that's in pure black. The silver pod comes with a recruit, or should I call it recon, just to be consistent with my infamous mistakes of the past that I will never be able to live down, since you can't edit videos once they're published. The armor parts here are molded in the brightest of silver colors, but this one in particular seems to have a little bit of a satin finish to it. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's less glossy, a little bit less smooth in the texture than I'm used to for pieces from this exact same tone, this exact same color that they've made before. And it felt a little bit cheap to me, but now that I'm looking at it, I think it may actually look a little bit better, a little bit more believable like this. It almost has like a galvanized sort of look to it, to me. Just a very, very slight bit of frostiness, just the slightest bit, or like a zinc, kind of fresh zinc look to it, which is interesting. I don't know if all of them will come out like this, but I kind of like this, and the visor is applied pretty perfectly. I really can't ask for anything better in terms of just how well that is masked off and the opacity of it as well. Once again, the weapon is just pure plain black, and obviously that's a railgun. The blue pod comes with a Defender Spartan with a black Hydra. I like the color scheme of the Spartan. I don't think it works quite as well for the pod. The blue works by itself. The gold, I think, is just too saturated. You know, it would be nice if it looked a little bit more like a gold tinted window. This looks good. The Defender does have those kind of funky lower legs with the joint section that appears, the swivel section that appears to stick out a bit, but from most angles it's not bad to look at. Just I think from straight on from the front or from the back it's a little bit off. Really good saturation and coverage for the visor here, which works out well on a figure. You know, it's such a small space, you need that to be a little bit overdone. There's actually, now this is another thing that I'm not sure we'll come across on camera fully, but there's a slight difference in hue between the molded armor pieces and the lower arms and lower legs. The lower arms and lower legs are slightly more true blue or possibly even into the purple range compared to the armor pieces that are slightly cyan. They have a little bit of green in them, just relatively speaking. I can see that just a little bit on this side in the shoulder armor and the upper leg armor. The body armor has the same thing. It's more cyan. The hip insert piece also has that cyan color. The head is, I don't know, head actually looks a little bit cyan in this case as well. It's actually a different type of plastic. So 3 different types of plastic that you're looking at just in the blue pieces, not even considering the black. But that's just some of the behind the scenes stuff that we don't have to worry about too much. They do that for durability and also posability to hold the friction where you need it to be. No paint applications whatsoever on that Hydra, but you know, I've nitpicked on this, but those are really, really small things. Overall, it's a pretty good figure. Last up, the copper tube gives us a Mark 6 second generation Spartan, the Halo 4 and beyond, or 343 era Mark 6. And it wasn't until I opened this package just now between cuts that I realized this was not a traditional copper at all. It's not like an American penny kind of copper or, you know, uninsulated copper wire. This is Mega's own creation. See, the base color is like a dark orange, like a burnt umber, maybe a little brighter than that or something. But then it has mixed into it a whole lot of very bright yellow gold flake. A lot of it. And they're just mixed together. So you really see that high metallic sheen coming out of it, even though the base is not metallic itself. And it's interesting, you know, they use this for some Covenant stuff, and it looks perfect for some Covenant units, you know, just that mix together of something non-metallic and then so much flake. On a Spartan, it looks unique. It stands out. It's very different. It's not something that I would expect, but it's pretty good. I personally like copper, like an actual copper color, but this is different and it's good. And it works here. Silver color for the visor on this one, I think was a really good choice. It really stands out. If I was custom painting one, I'd probably go for something darker, like a ruby sort of color, but that would not have stood out on such a small figure. It would have been cool to look at up close, but from a distance, I think this was the right choice. This is interesting. A good one to get, good one to add to a collection. The all plain black weapon on this one is just a saw, but yeah, I think this is a good choice that they made here. So there's the series. See, these look good, including the pods. Just the design of them is distinct. They have a good level of detail. They have good depth on the ridges and creases and such, which really helps. These are so much better than the cheap drop pods that they made that were practically mostly just throwaways. I saw very few people who liked those pods at all, but these are things that I actually want to keep. And the figures inside are good as well. Certainly my favorite one is the green one on the left, but I think all of them are good. I am not unhappy with any of these. So there you go. Hopefully they can actually get these in stores in more places than the few places they've actually shown up, and they'll be available at a reasonable price, so more fans will actually be able to get them. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you again soon.